Hi, this is Cheryl Gallant, your Conservative Member of Parliament for the law-abiding riding of Renfrew-Nipissing-Pembroke. The legacy horse and buggy media is on the attack again. The double standard in coverage has always been glaring, but it's reached new depths. Last year, I said, quote, Justin Trudeau has a hidden agenda to bring in climate lockdowns, end quote. The media pounced and accused me of spreading conspiracy theories. Now, how many times did you hear Liberals say Stephen Harper had a hidden agenda? Not once did the horse and buggy media call Trudeau a conspiracy theorist. Now it's happening again. This week, a reeve from a county in Alberta said he thought Trudeau should be in jail. The media pounced. They went on Twitter telling each other what a threat to democracy it was to call for the jailing of the Prime Minister. The fact is, our current Prime Minister has broken the conflict of interest law on multiple occasions. The fact is, the RCMP have an ongoing investigation into Trudeau's obstruction of justice. The media think it's bad for democracy to suggest a politician be locked up unless the person is a Conservative, in which case they chant, lock 'em up. Trudeau and the NDP had just voted against a Conservative motion to set a plan for lifting COVID restrictions. That means citizens whose mobility rights are restricted, who've had their livelihoods taken from them, careers destroyed, and cut off from employment insurance have no recourse. This is what Trudeau wants. He has decreed that some people cannot be tolerated. Dissent must be crushed. Accuse the Prime Minister of a crime for which there is an RCMP investigation, and the media will try to shame and silence you. Accuse someone other than a Liberal MP, and you get your picture in the paper and praised for your bravery in speaking out. Recently, a colleague of mine was cut off during the question and answer portion of a debate. If you even mention a certain forum based in Davos, the Liberals and their allies in the horse and buggy media will call you a conspiracy-pushing anti-Semite. Now, unlike the Liberal attack dogs who you just scream racist at everyone they disagree with, a reporter actually provided a link to a magazine article which explains the origins of the word globalist. The problem is that the article says the word globalist was first used to describe Hitler and his ambitions for global domination. Then it was used by Republicans to describe each other or other Republicans during a presidential primary fight in the 1940s. Later, a New York art critic described a Jewish artist of creating globalist art. Reporters and TV hosts spent the last month painting rural, working class Christians as a bunch of racist terrorists, then turned around to express shock that people are yelling at them and calling them fake news. The media has repeated unproven claims truckers tried to burn down a building. The police released pictures of these arsonists, and they look like rejects from an Antifa rally. One of them even wore a medical mask. The Trudeau-funded anti-Canadian hate network gives a platform to self-described radical socialists and accused Christianity of being a hate movement. The CBC has over a dozen stories on its website mentioning how a few people out of a crowd of thousands behaved aggressively towards the staff of Shepherds of Good Hope, a homeless shelter in Ottawa. What the CBC knew, but never published, was that the Shepherds of Good Hope began receiving truckloads of food from the demonstrators. They received so much food the shelter asked them to stop donating. One isolated event committed by a group that was not representative of the larger protest repeatedly raised it over and over again to cast all demonstrators in a poor light. The CBC knew about the donations. Its reporter posted the email from the shelter, but it was never mentioned on the air in a published story that we could find. Last week, we got to see just how deep the rot has set. A popular YouTuber astrophysics professor put out a tweet claiming she had submitted a proposal for research funding to study cosmic inflation. That has nothing to do with the soaring price of moon rocks. Cosmic inflation is about the very beginning of the universe and how it came to be the way it is. She wants to study something which happened 13 billion years ago. In response to her research funding request, she was asked to explain how her research would relate to gender, sexuality, and diversity. This is insane. The lefties and the horse and buggy media love to scream, follow the science. If science follows the lefties down the rabbit hole, no one will trust the most basic of scientific principles. If you're still relying only on the legacy media to know what's really happening in the world, you're right where they want you. Live from Ottawa, this is Cheryl Gallant.